Had a discussion with my friend recently, and the guy made a bet that there's art of Amelia from the recent Pathway games on Route 34. To cut short, that site has plenty of spicy art, and I wanted to make the bet even more exciting by asking about the number of art. He said 10, and I said 45, and even though he spends more time on the internet than me, even laughing at me for saying such a high number, he ended up losing the bet. There's currently 51 spicy artwork of her on that funny site. He asked me how come her of all people gets so much love already. And even though I thought what she's like in that stupid game made it obvious why, I'd like to take a deeper look in this video. So, Pathways is a garbage UK propaganda game about how illegal it is to have an opinion, think differently and correctly about things, handing out flyers about the opinions you made on your own research. Literally 1984 and the concept of wrongthink. The way the game is designed is that all option A's are correct, all option B's are try agains, and all option C's lead to an unsavory faith. For a game named Pathway, they make it very clear which path leads you to the gate of heaven and which leads you directly to the boiling pot. Mind you, this is directed at kids, by the way. Not only that, the options do way more than you think what it should do. Charlie eats a can of beans will lead to Charlie realizes that the beans' quality has dropped, and he knows why. Due to the immigrants taking up spaces in the factories, the bean quality has been jeopardized. Charlie now understands his purpose. He now leads the rebellion against the invaders and the government that protects it. Viva la révolution! I am not joking.
Charlie has started browsing new games and websites that some of the new friends use. Sometimes, though, the people on these websites say things that seem off, even slightly concerning. Someone on this website has encouraged Charlie to download a video, but Charlie is unsure. How should Charlie react? Charlie wanted to continue being part of their new online community. Charlie downloaded the video and shared it with different people online. Charlie felt relieved and happy that people were liking the video and also sharing it. Deep down, Charlie wasn't sure if this was the right thing to do, as some of the ideas in the video were extreme and violent. It's important to remember that downloading or streaming certain content can lead to a terrorist offense conviction.
Funnily enough, they removed this game after the people who seized this piece of state-sponsored trash called it state-sponsored trash. They love censoring harmful ideas so much they ended up censoring themselves, as it did the most damage to their own narratives. By the way, while I was editing this video, I just realized that Amelia shares so much similarity to Duran Duck from Clone High. Amelia, our beloved, is first introduced in the game as a rebels persuader, walking among citizens to spread misinformation and make them join her cause. In terms of character design and dialoguing, they did a shit job. Amelia has purple hair, a very distinct look, and a choker. She demonstrates her vicious manipulative powers by nudging us in the elbow and say that with the sudden immigration influx, it's hard to find a job. Wow, such a harmful opinion. They tried to make it non-offensive by using corporate Memphis as the art style, but the problem with that is, it can only make everyone forgettable at worst and bland at best. The thing about this art style is that no one can be beautiful, and no one can be ugly. With such an easily recognizable and colorful design, Amelia ended up sticking around people's minds much better, especially since the art style suggests her most distinct feature. People are then given a checklist when they draw a beautiful girl, and she can be recognized as Amelia, with her mole, her choker, and her purple hair. You know, Amelia, the rebellious figure the UK government is against, staying in people's mind. Another thing I wanted to point out is that the right has a tendency to judge people based on looks. That's why every time I search for leftist getting destroyed, owned, the thumbnails tend to use bright colored hair as the leftist's most defining feature. Now why the fuck would you make Amelia the bad one in your game? Since the government is obviously against conservatives as of now, wouldn't it make more sense to make Amelia the most empathetic, understanding characters who shows Charlie the errors of his radical ways and then showing him how immigrants can benefit the UK? How am I making better propaganda than you? I know that having a punk look makes you a rebel, but couldn't you make it so the government is fighting on the side of the rebel? Fighting against the regime of those who wanted to push innocent non-natives out of the country? Also, I hear mention of Amelia being far right. For what reason is she far right? To be far on one side implies radicalism, and so far she has done nothing but showed mild and reasonable dislike of a policy that hurt indigenous UK inhabitants. To love the United Kingdom because it is the United Kingdom just sounds like standard patriotism to me. The only way she's far right is that the government is so far left. Being anywhere on their right automatically makes you far right. And what's wrong with wanting UK to be for UK people? Obviously, extreme nationalism is bad, such as the cost of World War II, but if I were to visit London, I would want to see the Londoners, not people of my ethnicity or nationality, because I could just do that by not leaving my country.
Back to Amelia now. Let's say I am agreeing with this propaganda program that could easily be exceeded in quality by 7-year-old using Scratch. In many people's eyes, she fits right into this archetype of the I can fix her girls, which is very alluring. The main attraction about these type of girls is the thrill of feeling like she's lost, that you can help her stop this behavior, that you can be what she needs for her character arc. Honestly, I would vote too. Yet she also never acted unreasonable, and usually when you want to hate on the conservatives, you would call them racist or something worse. The writing team could have dropped in a heavily British and feminine voice line like, I fucking hate the minorities in it, love. You know, the common tactic to demonize the natives for wanting natives in their homeland? But no, she's just a reasonable person being reasonably angry about the state of her country. That's not all. Of course, they made matters worse for themselves.
Alright, let's see here. Charlie, our character, never has an option of calling her a bigot or anything like that, which means she is indeed so good of a friend that her so called wrong thing can be ignored. They betrayed Amelia to post memes of herself promoting English people's rights, which means not only does she have a sense of humor, but she can also take jokes about herself. She's shown to be interested in talking with Charlie and only ever brought up politics when she said she wasn't allowed to participate in protests. Plus, she thinks of Charlie as competent enough to take her place. This good guy government either let you live peacefully in the correct path and not end up with Amelia, or you get arrested for ending up with Amelia. And they notify your parents that you had wrong think, and you get deemed a social outcast, and you are forced to have re-education. You do, of course, have bad interaction with Amelia, but only because she thinks Charlie's cringe for not wanting to fight for British rights. So she ignored him for one morning. The next scene, even on the good path, she remained Charlie's friend.
Until he continued acting like a wuss, of course. Still, though, two bad interactions doesn't mean anything compared to going to jail for thinking differently. Charlie is a name used by many different characters based on the player's starting choice. The fact that Amelia offers help regardless of gender means that she could possibly be pansexual. A bit of a stretch, but I said that since she likes Charlie regardless of what sex they are. Charlie felt insulted that their teacher offered them help based on their political views. Guess who Charlie reached out to first? Amelia. She has this sort of calming presence while also acting as an emotional outlet for him. Charlie's teacher and parents were shocked by the content in which they were spreading. Their own parents showed no sign of support for their own child, and eventually Charlie got arrested for wrongthink. Who was by Charlie's side when his guardian and mentors betrayed him? Amelia. During the arrest for wrongthink, the expression of Amelia suggests that she doesn't regret this act of protest, which is literally shown to be just spreading flyers. And the thing about flyers is that it's a very consensual interaction between receiver and giver. Receiving the flyer or not is entirely on you, and I say it rather makes her more rebellious. She is shown to stand on business and stick by Charlie's side.
So, let's see what we gathered so far. This far-right, racist, problematic, law-breaking, conservative thinking alt-girl is shown to be compassionate, understanding, a critical thinker, resilient, has dyed her hair to show nonconformity, and is a pansexual, which is not something very common on the right, who makes Charlie feel safe and listened to, essentially acting like an anchor in his life when everyone around him seems to be horrified at what he has become. Exactly how am I supposed to hate her? She appeals to everyone. So far, Amelia has been nothing but reasonable. And if I'm being honest, it seems like someone on the dev team wanted to make a fan fiction where they're charmed by a goth girl of the enemy team, and then disguise it good enough. Time to wrap things up. I actually hate politics, like deeply, but this is one of the cases where the propaganda is just so bad you can see both sides joining together to laugh at it. Exactly what the hell were they thinking when the most interesting character in the whole game has a name, is a Brit, fights for British people's right,
can be recognized in an instant and accept Charlie, our character, with open arms. Might as well switch it from pathway to path to Amelia's heart, because we literally cannot call her out for her wrong thing the entire game. We're convinced by those close to us to stop thinking critically if we go for their so-called correct path, whereas the wrong path always ends up next to Amelia's side. It's literally a pendulum at this point. They went so far left, they accidentally go an entire circle and went to the right side.
Nonetheless, the internet now has a new waifu. The British government insulted. The right just randomly received a whole lot of support because of the writing team's incompetence. I gained $2, and it's all thanks to Amelia.
Thanks for watching. Now enjoy the slideshow of fan art that did not came from Rule 34.
Your arms tonight. It must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight.